everyone. It's Bradley and Jackie from A Purposeful Pop Life. How are you?
It's raining. It's
It is.
fall in Minnesota, so the weather is very volatile. We never know what we're going to wake up to. But I woke up to a really good movie
So did I.
this morning.
But I did say, first of all, I did wear a sweater because it is cold, it is raining, it's very fallish today.
It's freezing
Yes.
here. Yeah.
But it was a good movie this morning. What's it called?
The Starling.
Starling.
And that is a bird, for those of you who don't know.
It is a bird.
And it represents communication and unity, which I feel is the perfect title for this movie.
So who's in the movie?
It is Melissa McCarthy, Chris O'Dowd. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. He
Yes.
is Irish, and I love his accent. I just
fantastic.
love listening to him. He is such a good actor, and they were actually in Bridesmaids together. Do you
Yes.
remember that?
Yep.
And then, of course, Kevin Kline, his name is Larry, and he
Yeah.
is the therapist in this.
His name is Larry Fine, Dr. Larry Fine.
I know, I liked him. I love him. He's aging so well, by the way.
Yeah, he looked great. He looked
I mean,
great.
he just looks like yes, I want him to be my therapist.
You know what's really fun is to watch him ageless, right? He's not aging at all. But then you watch Melissa McCarthy as she keeps evolving from her sitcoms into the movies. She's getting further and
so
further.
good.
She was fantastic in this movie. I personally really enjoyed it.
She's definitely not a whiny woman. Now, this is how a woman should handle situations that are
Yes.
tough like this. I admire her, and I loved watching her, and I loved watching her represent women.
Yes, and they did, I think, a really nice job. So the story is they are a couple. They have all these dreams as a couple of having a child. They do have a child, and they lose it early on. I forget the age when the child. Kate is the child's name.
Very young,
Very
she
young.
dies of SIDS.
And so it's a story.
Devastating.
Yeah, so it's a story basically about the two of them being Melissa and her husband trying to figure out how to work through this issue, right? So the husband has a challenge. He ends up going to an institution. She stays at home, and they both go through this journey. And this bird, the
Starling.
starling bird, is sort of a euphemism of their relationship, as is Dr. Line, the veterinarian / psychologist that helps along
That's
the way.
what makes it so clever, is
Yeah.
that he was a therapist, psychologist,
Now he's a
whatever you want to call
veterinarian.
him. He couldn't stand the profession anymore because you have to imagine that's very taxing on someone. So
Yeah.
then he becomes
A
a
veterinarian?
veterinarian. I love that. Sorry.
It's actually a funny story.
Anyway.
It's a very good
because
story.
Because animals don't talk back to you.
It's like the opposite of Dr. Dolittle. He wants to get there's no interaction, but what ends up happening is that all the patients love their pets. And so this one scene, this guy, he's wearing his flannel jacket, his big beard, his hat. He's crying and weeping over his cat, and he says, "Well, stop feeding your cat trucker food." So he's like, "Oh, little whatever his cat's saying." He's like, "I'll stop feeding you nachos and corn dogs at the stops." And it's a really funny scene. But anyhow, so they do a really nice job of writing through the two main characters, the veterinarian, and the other characters around, and how they all process what matters. They process loss. They process what it means to be in community with each other, both as friends and as spouses. And I think it's a really good movie. I'll say the end. It's a happy ending. I thought it was a little predictable. The climax happens, I think, at a good spot. But the end, I was like, oh, now they're gonna unwind it kind of slowly. I thought that was a little boring. But the movie itself, I'd say the first 75% were really nice. I might have gotten teared up a couple times.
What?
I know, shocking. But it's
Bradley
good.
doesn't cry. He is a cold stone,
Well-
I'll tell you.
But it's hard not to feel bad for the two characters. It's hard not to feel bad for the bird. They're the birds, I should say. There's two.
I don't feel bad for those birds.
Okay, I did. But I mean, it's a good movie, and I totally recommend it. So
Yeah, you should definitely watch that this weekend. And cozy up tonight. Like, tonight would be a good night for a movie if
Yeah.
you're living in Minnesota. For those of you living in better places.
yeah. But in
maybe
Minnesota,
not.
it is homecoming weekend. It's the University of Minnesota homecoming. They play Bowling Green
big deal.
tomorrow. It's a
Yeah,
big deal.
it's a big deal here.
And today, the local high school, Edina High School, is having their homecoming. So it's a parade this afternoon and the game tonight. Although it's going
Not
to
a
be
good day.
No, it's a
Not
little
good
wet
day
for the
it.
kids, but we just get to drop them off and pick them up, so it's fine.
That's the beauty of being a parent. We will
Exactly.
see you next week.